Hi everyone. X-Men. Why does this film exist, and what's its significance in pop culture and my life? Well, I'm here to tell you about that today. X-Men 2000, or as I like to refer to it, Power Rangers but they're mutants, was made by 20th Century Fox well before they were absorbed by the mouse. And I'm going to sum up this movie right now. Spoiler alert, it's good. Great, even. Is it flawless? No. Far from it. However, where it lacks in endgame level writing and action, it makes up for in nearly everything else. See, X-Men was a miracle. The last superhero movie that was made previously was Batman and Robin.
Never leave the cave without it.
That one. The Bat credit card one. And talking about making these sorts of films in Hollywood was very taboo. Enter Marvel. You see, in the 90s, Marvel needed cash. They were at the verge of bankruptcy, if not bankrupt. And they would sell to anyone that would make films using their IP. Anyone who knows about the Sony Marvel custody battle knows well enough about this. However, what you might not know is that Fox actually owned both Spider-Man and the X-Men. They saw that these were their most profitable characters, and they wanted a piece. They even were working on a Spider-Man, Leonardo DiCaprio, and directed by James Cameron. There's even an outtake in one of the scenes where someone ran in with a Spider-Man costume, implying that it was being made. Whatever became of that, they sold to Sony, and we have the Sam Raimi films, and probably for the best. Anyways, 1999. The X-Men is the powerhouse comic book saving the industry. The first issue of Volume 2 is, to this day, the best-selling issue of any comic book. It's probably going to go down in history as well as the best-selling comic book of all time. And not to mention the hit cartoon that catapulted these characters into the mainstream. How could you go wrong making a movie like this? Now, at its heart, this film wasn't what fans of the time wanted. The bright colors and the flashiness of the comics and the cartoon, even the zany Claremont writing, it wasn't really there. However, in the post-Batman and Robin world, this is what they needed. With rising star Hugh Jackman and established legends such as Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen giving their all into these performances, society saw for the first time in a long time, perhaps even since the first Superman film, another Donner production that led to the advent of many film tool staples of today. That characters like the animalistic Logan, the crippled beacon of good Charles Xavier, and the mutant civil rights activist turned villain, Magneto, can be viewed in the dramatic lens and not merely enjoyed, but respected. And they were. Over and over, until they weren't. Other studios went on and overtook the success of X-Men, and if you're watching this in 2019, you know where this leads. The year is 2019. The world is ruled by ironclad Avengers, Cape Crusaders, and the Star-Spangled Man with the Plan. How did we get here? 20 years later, looking back on the film that I thought was okay when I was old enough to understand it, I can say from an honest and non-biased perspective, this film is a must-see reminder of the fact that these sorts of films can work, and work well, even without major cinematic climactic battles on the Michael Bay Transformers scale. 2 years ago with Logan, Fox showed us this again, and I hope to see Marvel do the series justice by perhaps keeping with this trend. That not all heroes wear capes, and the X-Men are an excellent scenario to show this. I hope to see them have their fair share of sci-fi action and fight-or-flight scenarios, sure. But I hope to dear God X-Men returns to its original tone, rather than fade into an Avengers clone, obscurity like Justice League. Become something new. Now I'd like to move on and share what this film meant to me personally, as a kid who grew up with the cartoon on reruns, and he could tell you all the X-Men's names, mutations, and backstories. This film does a great job in introducing the X-Men to normie viewers, and establishing key characters, aside from maybe Beast, who is absent from the series. I don't count Last Stand. They established them with clear motivations shown from the start. Xavier, Magneto, and Logan helm the ship with their conflicts, while also doing an excellent job of showing what the lives of young mutants like Bobby and Rogue are like, and also exemplifying how some mutants reacted peacefully, such as Cyclops, Storm, and Jean, to the oppression that they're faced with every day, whereas Mystique, Sabretooth, and Toad took their plights to the streets and fought back against their oppressors. X-Men. My hot take? I believe this film is to thank for everything we have. These modern Marvel films and, superheroes being taken seriously. It was the first departure from the, red and blue tights and wild Tim Burton Batman films that just were not grounded in reality as this was. And in some ways that's good, in some ways it's bad. Every film that's followed has been similar to this. However, that is what makes it revolutionary. And I hope that some of you go home and watch this today and maybe look at it in a new light. Or maybe not. Maybe you don't agree with my views, and that's fine. However, this film exists, and it deserves to be acknowledged. Now, if you like this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, ring the bell, because YouTube. I appreciate anyone who stuck through this, and if you'd like to see more of me, my buddy Zayden's doing some content that I'm taking part in on his channel. I'll link to that in the description and, of course, in the cards. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace.